everybody. Guess what? This is Thursday morning, so it's Thursday Thoughts with Merle and Patti. And guess who's here?
Ah, she's Merle, if you might have guessed, and I'm Patti. And this is Thursday Thoughts with Merle and Patti, where the two of us try to give our wisdom for whatever it is about relationships. We've been doing this for years, working out together, walking around the lake, solving all the problems of the world. Merle is the relationship miracle worker. It's what she does. She's a relationship coach and author and writer and speaker. And I do that too, from my little pagan perspective. I'm a psychic medium, author, good witch, speaker. And together we say the same thing in completely different words. And we like that. So welcome to Thursday Thoughts.
It's like coming into the same room through different doors. And I think what's important about it is that different people have different words, different ways of getting to where we are today. And those differences, if we honor them, we will find not just the differences, but we'll find those places where we can come together. So our very friendship, our very colleague working together is an example of what we would like to see go on in the whole world.
On the planet, in politics, in the world, everything. Where are you the same? Let's start there and then go. And because to me, it's just templates. It's little roadmap. It's the look of your computer or what the screen you want on your phone. You know, you can all have different screens, but it's just the template of itself. It's the meaning behind it. So what are we talking about today, Merle?
Today we're talking about how things are. I lost my piece of paper, to tell you the truth, but I do remember. Hello, Teresa. We're talking about as things lighten up and as we get a little bit more into the world, we're encountering those differences that we're just very much talking about. And how do we handle people that have a different view of what does it mean to go out in the world or to live at home now?
In the world of COVID. We've all been on some form of lockdown for a long time. Many of us still are, but everyone's starting to loosen to differing degrees. So now we're saying.
Go ahead, finish.
No, go.
Well, so what I was going to say was that Patti and I'll discuss the differences in COVID in responding to it, but it is merely one example how we need to live our life with people that think differently than us.
Yeah.
And we always think it's a matter of life and death, and sometimes it is, but sometimes it just seems a lot like
a matter of life and death. Yes, it's true. Because I know I consider my husband a worrywart. I would never say those words exactly to him. I guess I just did. Our perceptions are slightly different. He will go out twice as often as I do. He has his mask and he has his spray. But again, he kind of freaks out when I want to have a friend come over and sit 10 feet away on the deck without coming in the house. And it's like, but you just got back from the dollar store and Ralph's and everywhere else. They're not even in the house. We're not doing anything. So it's figuring out those differences. And I'm going to go to, well, the one thing, we can't make it personal. The place that you and I always go about the differences of things, it's not, we can't make it personal. His belief systems aren't against me. They might be different and mine aren't against him. He's not trying to be mean to me by not being comfortable that somebody's sitting on the deck. But how do you deal with it? Do you deal with it to get back at somebody or to create a communication?
Okay, this is how you deal with it. The way you deal with it, which is simply I think the person that worries the most wins, uh, unless they're really completely nuts. But uh, I think we need to respect that some people are not as um, willing to take risks as others. What it teaches us is that if we're the one that's, a little more free, it teaches us that we are taking a risk, and someone's interpreting what that risk is differently than we are. And even if we still don't agree, it it puts a thing in my head, oh, I'm not just doing this, I'm taking a risk. So, and that, I think that's kind of important to know. And I think when you come from the other side, um, I respect this person. They're not like, they don't jump off cliffs. So if they're willing to do that, maybe it's kind of okay. So my thing is, I have Nathan and I live in the house, our house, and I have a grown son, and he doesn't even want to come in the house. And I know we're of that age, over 65, a couple of years, but still, it seems kind of goofy. And he did come in for my birthday, but we definitely socially distance, and he wears a mask. It's the first time he ate actually in our house since this all started. And otherwise, he puts it on. He finally left. He said, I can't wear this mask anymore. It's driving me crazy.
It's been interesting trying to eat with a mask, though.
No, he did take it, but we, but we socially dis. I said, well, instead of sitting at the kitchen table, we sat at the dining room table. So, uh, these are real issues. Okay. Oh, I'm not going to say, but when we go out and when we go for a walk, so it's a couple of interesting things. We live in the hills, and when we go for a walk, and when I've gone by myself, you can, Garcetti said, you can take off the mask when you're walking by yourself. You just need to have it ready so that when you go by somebody, you do this, which is actually what we do. But Elena was saying where she lives, which is in West Hollywood, people people don't wear masks, and people don't cover when they come near you, and they don't take a space, they don't give you space. So she doesn't walk in her neighborhood.
She walks in our neighborhood.
She actually walks in somebody else's neighborhood. But and in our neighborhood actually, because I walk with her. So I don't know, where does that lead us? That leads us to, you need to be respectful for other people, but other people also need to be respectful. And I think it's kind of interesting that people have made this political, and you really feel that if it was a mayor that was from a different what are they called, political party, that it would make more sense to some people. um uh,
Yeah,
and
it's
and
not
so what,
political. We can't politicize this. We cannot. Science and medicine and health, and they're trying to do big rules for whatever.
how,
Yeah,
how can you argue with somebody trying to keep you safe? Yes, it's true. People are losing their jobs, people are losing their businesses. It's horrifying. It's totally horrifying. But they'll never get it back if they're dead.
exactly.
And they'll never feel good if they got it back, but their mother's dead, but their kid is dead. I mean, I was just listening to Spectrum News, as a matter of fact, because it's local news and it's kind of interesting. Um, and they had a man on that he was in his 20s or whatever. There were like 4 or 5 people in his family that came down with COVID. And he talked about it, and he just became, he said, I felt like a nurse. And I'm saying to the TV, you were the nurse. And um, he said, I'm coming public with it because I want people to know this is real. And I mean, it happens to people. It happened to my family, and they're getting better, but they're nursing their way on. So I wish people would believe it. I can understand you being wanting to risk a little more or a little less. We all have differences, but I think it's 11:11.
It's 11:11. It's the magic hour. Thank you, Merle. I've been watching the clock and I looked away and there it is. Okay, it's 11:11, which every people know is the magic hour, the angel number, the make-a-wish hour. And we always, when we don't miss it, we kind of do a little make-a-wish prayer, visualization, whatever you want to call it. So what do we want to make a wish for, visualization for today?
Okay, we want to make a wish for people respecting different differences and being able to take orders. I mean,
Okay. And not always seeing that there's some underlying other meaning to it.
right. Let's not be adolescent unless we're
Not everything is a
adolescent.
conspiracy theory. Just saying.
Right.
Not,
Just
all right. So everybody think about that for a second. Think about if there is any conflict in your life with a roommate, a friend, a family member, you disagree on something. Number one, make sure you're not making it personal. It's just differences of opinion and belief system and knowledge or whatever else. Try not to take it to heart and make it personal. And think about how that you guys can get closer together without turning it into a thing. And then so that we can get through this with as much grace and with as much ease as we can. So if that means extra wearing a mask when you don't want to, big deal, big deal. We'll all look back at this. So everybody close your eyes for 1 second. Take a deep breath in. With or without a mask, it works. Hold it, exhale out. First, picture your heart, picture your lungs, healthy, strong lungs. Picture them virus-free and healthy, and picture the air coming in and out, healthy and beautiful. And then see people around you, your family members, the closest people to you, your friends, your workmates, everybody healthy and happy and working together, seeing if there's new rules and there's new plans, and working together for the betterment of the whole, for the betterment of the individual together. Just picture that beautiful bright light, starting with those healthy lungs, healthy virus-free, spreading it out to your house, your workplace, your city, your state, your country, your planet. Breathe in the health. Exhale out the fear. Breathe in the health. Exhale out the anger. Breathe in the health. And exhale. Feel how good that feels. Short and sweet and simple. And wake up. Easy peasy. And every day visualization works. Science has proven that. Belief system, that mind, body, spirit thing. You got to see it, smell it, taste it, feel it, and you create it. So don't live in the fear space. That's
right. So one of the things that works, that makes it work, is just the fact that you pay attention to it on a regular basis. It reminds you of, oh yes, things can be good. Oh yes, things can be good. That is what you're going to focus on more.
Yep.
Because what you focus on more. So make sure what you focus on is good stuff, and it will expand.
Yes.
That's
Thank
our
you,
wisdom
Merle.
for the
That was
day.
beautiful. If you like us, let us know. Follow us, like us, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Buy both of our books. Amazon, Old World Magic for the Modern World is mine. Tips, tricks, and techniques to empower and create a life you love. Cracking the
And
Relationship Code is
cracking
Merle.
relationship code, the key to happy relationships at home and at work.
And
You
come,
need them both. You know that.
you gotta have. You follow us on all the social medias and come back in literally just 45 minutes for Merle's Pearl.
Yes, yes.
Merle solo. What are you talking about on Merle's Pearls, if you remember?
Yes, it's a really important conversation. I do remember it has something to do with um, it, not expecting perfection of yourself, having the freedom to allow yourself to be who you are without having to be perfect. It's really important to know that because you're the first stop on your way to having a life that encompasses and enjoys other people, even when they have different opinions, because, okay, they're not perfect, but either am I, and I'm okay, so you're okay. 12 o'clock.
12 o'clock Pacific, 3 o'clock Eastern, whatever in the middle. 8 p.m. UK. I'm doing a lot in the UK these days. So thank you, everybody. Come back next Thursday, 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern for Thursday Thoughts with Merle and Patti. Merle
Yes.
Singer, Patti Negri, signing out. Be healthy.